I've been teasing this video for a few weeks now, and it's only because I've been putting a huge amount of work into it. But today, I can finally show you my refurbished golf simulator room. There have been some pretty big upgrades, and in today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I've done. But most importantly, I'll share a few tricks of the trade to help anyone who's looking to build their own home golf simulator. And at the end of this video, I will reveal exactly how much this whole setup costs. Let's get into it. The biggest reason for my golf simulator room upgrade was my new partnership with the Sports Screen. I've been really lucky to be able to partner with them for their UK release of the Parlour Series golf simulator enclosures. And let's be honest, a professional looking enclosure like this deserved a much better environment to be in. That old simulator room was starting to look a little bit drab. I used to think my old setup was the best and cheapest way to build your own home golf simulator, but after using this for just a couple of weeks, I now understand why golf simulator enclosures are so popular. I'm going to go into more details about this later on into the video, but let's start off with the smaller updates to the sim room. One thing I hated about my old setup was the floor layout. I built this runway down the middle of the bay, which kind of made sense to me at the time, but it made the whole space impractical. My new setup now has flooring that goes all the way to the sides of the bay, which means, to quote one of my favorite films, there is so much more room for activities. My wife now uses this space for her workouts, and it does make sense. There's a lot of space here. On top of that, in the future, I might build some breaks into the flooring so I can actually work on my putting. And if you've been keeping up with my new series, Project 1 Under, you know I need to work on my putting a lot. One thing I did carry over from the old setup though was the raised flooring. I absolutely love this because it means I can lower my mat into the flooring for a seamless finish. And a seamless finish means that the whole space is a lot more practical, and it makes my Flightscope Mevo Plus more accurate. Flightscope say the Mevo Plus needs to be level with the hitting surface for better accuracy, and well, you can't really get more level than this. I'm gonna get serious for a second. If you are building your own home golf simulator, you need to pay close attention to your hitting surface. You will be hitting a lot of golf balls in your home golf simulator, and if your mat is too firm, you're going to end up doing some serious damage to your wrists. It happens all the time. People spend thousands on their golf simulator rooms, don't pay close enough attention to the hitting surface, and end up not actually being able to use their simulator. My raised flooring isn't just for looks. It allowed me to build some padding underneath my hitting surface. Underneath my hitting zone, I've cut out an area where I have packed it full of carpet underlay. It is soft underfoot, but I can hit hundreds of golf balls in here and my wrists won't feel a thing. My biggest advice to anyone building a home golf simulator is to do this. Yes, it does add some cost, and yes, there is some extra DIY work to be done. The materials for this actually turned up on the back of a lorry, but in the end, the effort is always worth it. The space looks great and I will never hurt myself using it. When most people think of golf simulator rooms, this is what they picture: hitting a golf ball from a green hitting mat into a projected golf simulator enclosure. Now, there's obviously a hell of a lot more that goes into building a golf simulator room than that, but what I've come to learn is just how important the golf simulator enclosure really is. Come on, let's hit this close. I don't think that's too bad, you know. Amazing if it's a hole-in-one. Nah, boring. Good shot. My old setup was basically an impact screen hanging from some wire. It was cheap, it only cost me about $250 in total, but it had so many flaws. The biggest problem I had was hitting golf balls over the top of the impact screen. Anytime I was hitting a wedge, there was a 50-50 chance that the ball would end up behind the screen. I tried all sorts of ways to fix this problem, but nothing really worked. On top of that, the impact screen itself had to be bungee corded to the walls of my bay. That doesn't sound like too much of a problem, but when you have to go behind the screen to collect some golf balls, it gets really tedious unhooking so many bungee cords, and to be honest with you, it's a bit of a trip hazard trying to go behind the screen. The whole thing was really impractical, but it was cheap, and that's what was important to me at the time. But now I am firmly in Team Enclosure. This thing has been a massive upgrade to my space. Here's what you gain from moving from a hanging impact screen to a golf simulator enclosure. First things first, the golf simulator enclosure catches all sorts of stray shots. Shanks, sky balls, thins, you name it, the golf simulator enclosure is catching it. The image quality you get from a golf simulator enclosure is miles better. My particular golf simulator enclosure comes with a back panel which helps retain more light for better image quality. If you're in the market for a new golf simulator enclosure, make sure it includes a back panel behind the impact screen. The back panel helps reflect light back onto the impact screen, which makes the image so much better. Honestly, it's been a huge game changer. Even when I turn the light on behind the impact screen, the image isn't affected. That's how important the back panel is. The quality of the impact screen matters as well. Mine's a 3-ply impact screen, which means it's tightly woven for better light retention, which means better image quality. With some enclosures, that type of quality comes at an extra cost. With some companies, you'd have to pay an extra £1,000 for that type of quality. But with the sports screen, it only costs an extra $100 to go from 1-ply to 3-ply. An absolute bargain of an upgrade. And finally, the noise levels. With golf simulator enclosures, the frame and the screen absorb so much more noise. With my old setup, I'd hit a golf ball into the screen and it would just reverberate through the wires and into the bay and create a hell of a lot of noise. My wife could actually hear me hitting golf balls from the house, which is 50 meters away from my garage. Now, I can say I'm working when I'm actually working on my fairway finder, which by the looks of it, definitely still needs some work. Look, at the start of this video, I told you that I am affiliated with the sports screen. And yes, I am biased when I say that you should buy this golf simulator enclosure. But if you are in the market for an enclosure, genuinely, this should be on your shortlist. It's not the cheapest, but it's far from being the most expensive. The value you get with it is incredible. This is the Parlour Series 11 by the Sports Screen, and it costs $2,400. That price in this market represents the lower end of the premium range, but you get a lot of premium features with this product. The impact screen alone is one of the highest quality on the market, and that is included in the price tag. Plus, the frame is so strong, it can literally hold my full weight, and that is saying a lot. I've done a lot of research into golf simulator enclosures, and I don't personally just affiliate with any company that asks, but this golf simulator enclosure represents the best bang for buck enclosure on the market. But don't just take my word for that, do your own research. In the description of this video, you will find a link to the Sports Screen website where you will find all of the information you need to make an informed decision about your golf simulator. On screen now, I'm not sure where, top left, top right, there is a link to the previous video I did on this enclosure. In that video, I go into a lot more detail about the product and how to put it together. So if you're interested, have a look at that video as well. But before you go, I'm going to go into detail about how much this whole simulator room cost me. So, how much does a golf simulator actually cost? I'm going to break this down into essentials and non-essentials. That way you guys can see what is an actual upgrade and what you actually need. My simulator room is basically a middle of the ground setup. You can definitely spend less, but there's definitely room to spend a hell of a lot more. So I think this simulator room is fairly realistic for most people. Right, let's start with the essentials. First of all, you're going to need a launch monitor. The launch monitor is the brain of your golf simulator, and I'm using the Flightscope Mevo Plus. Brand new, this launch monitor will set you back $1,499. I have seen second-hand versions of this unit for as little as $500. Or you can go up to something like a GC Quad or TrackMan for tour level accuracy, which will obviously cost a hell of a lot more. Personally, I found the Flightscope Mevo Plus to be more than accurate enough for my 8.1 handicap. The distances I'm seeing with each club is spot on, and the ball flight is very accurate. Next up is the golf simulator enclosure. The one I've got here in my simulator room is the Parlour Series 11 by the Sports Screen, and this particular model costs $2,400. This is the smallest enclosure available on their website, but they do have two sizes that are bigger, and you can even do a custom size option. So whatever space you've got in your simulator room, this enclosure will fit. The next essential is the hitting mat. Brand new, mine should have cost around $400, but I got mine secondhand from a driving range. And I think it is quite important to be able to utilize secondhand products when you're building your simulator room. That way you can get higher quality products for less money. With that in mind, my projector was secondhand as well. This projector cost me $250 from eBay. At first, I thought I was really compromising with this projector. In my old setup, the image wasn't that great, but ever since I've been using this new enclosure with that premium impact screen, the image has been incredible for its value. And finally, the last essential that you need is a gaming PC. You're gonna need a gaming PC to be able to run your Golf Simulator software. The higher spec you go with your PC, the better image quality you get. But to be honest with you, my PC is a very budget option at $650. If you have room in your budget, perhaps this is where you would spend it. That way you can get a better image in your simulator and you'll have a faster experience. But mine still works perfectly fine. So that brings the total for the essential items you need in your Golf Simulator to $5,000. Now for the luxuries, or the aesthetics. For the raised flooring, I spent about $450. The carpet tiles set me back $250. The wall paneling cost $200, and a bit of plasterboard and some paint set me back $350. There were a couple of extra things like the shelves and the breakfast bar here that add to the aesthetics of the whole space. But for absolutely everything that you see in this simulator room, it's cost around $7,000. But it's not just a golf simulator. It's also a cinema room. It's also a workout room. It's also my home office. And that's the most important thing you need to consider when you're building a golf simulator room. You are dedicating a huge amount of floor space from your home for this project. My simulator room here is 40 square meters. Make sure your simulator room can set up for other purposes. I tell you right now, your family will really appreciate the multiple uses that this space can have. Guys, thank you so much for watching this whole video. If you're still here and you're not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you're thinking about building your own home golf simulator, make sure you check out all the other videos I've got on this topic. And of course, hit that link in the description so you've got more information about the Parlour Series Golf Simulator enclosure. At the time of filming, the sports screen actually have a 20% off sale. So you can pick up this thing for less than $2,000, which is an absolute bargain. But anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you next week for another.